Eriador is diminished. The time of the Eldar is fading, and the deeds of the men of the West are preserved only in their ruins. The shadow of a fear of ages past threatens all the free peoples of Middle-earth. And yet, hope remains. For in the hearts of unlikely folk is the strength to wander through shadow kept. And only thence can they come to the morning. And though the road is long and treacherous and full of peril, it is a road that these companions must travel. And only through strength of loyalty, friendship, and hope can they overcome the obstacles ahead. May the goodwill of elves, men, and all free folk go with them.
With the season of Yule now past, and the winter's last snow on the melt, the company now gathers back at the Prancing Pony. New adventures await the company, with many meetings and many mysteries.
So last we left off, you all had completed your Yule fellowship phase, and you all picked up some cool stuff. Do we want to do just a quick review of what everybody picked up over the course of their Yule? I guess we can just start at the top and go down and left. Aranel, what did you pick up over your Yule?
So I increased my scan from 2 to 3. My my valor also got bumped up so that I could get a reward. So she got a cunning make leather corselet. So she is no longer armorless.
Nice.
And then she also went from 2 to 3 in her bows. So she is going to hopefully not miss anymore. And she kicked her little brother's ass in a shooting competition. So
That is true.
that was about it. Got rid of shadow, all the fun stuff.
Right on. All right, Commander, what did you do over your Yule?
I leveled up a bunch of stats. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head at this point.
You took a valor, did you not?
And yes, I took an increase in valor to figure out more about my spear Estelle.
Very good. And I think...
And over the Yule, I decided to begin the process of raising an heir by training young Silda, or at least providing the seeds for her to begin training so something terrible won't happen to her again.
Okay. All right. Very good.
And potentially have ruined her family life inadvertently just by being nice. It's like, I don't want to go with my uncle now. I like you more. I'm like, I was just trying to be nice. I'm sorry.
All right. And Miragar, what did you end up doing?
Well, I took some skills that were much needed, increased my wisdom, and picked up a virtue from that, the art of smoking. I think Miragar has become the smoking aficionado of the group, and that will allow me to regain an extra hope point for every hope I regain through fellowship points and whatnot. And then my downtime action, my personal one, was to start the story of Fear of Ages Past. So I spent some time with Bilbo Baggins in the Shire, talking about the adventure, having him help me start on our story. And that changed a distinctive feature of mine from inquisitive to merry. So I feel like Miragar is always trying to keep everybody positive and the vibes merry more than anything else.
Very nice. All right. And just so the audience, as well as players who may have forgotten, know, distinctive features are definitely advantageous to play to, because if you play along with those, say, for example, Frost has bold. If he takes an action which is deemed bold and uses a hope point in order to achieve a certain outcome or to add to the roll, instead of 1 additional success die, he gets 2. So it definitely helps to play along and play your character according to what distinctive features that you have. Frost, what did you pick up?
Thrush was kind of focusing more on hardening himself a bit against the shadow, so he increased his valor by a point, which allowed him to also learn a new quality of Mythor, finding out that the weapon is in addition to being keen and a bane of orcs and trolls, it is also fell, so it's even more dangerous. And then he spent the Yule writing the song for the group about Nellie's fall. So we now have a combat song.
Very nice. And what exactly is it that songs do again?
I believe if we use this and we pass the song roll and we use the song in a combat, during that entire combat, we do not suffer the effects of being weary.
Very nice. That will definitely come in handy down the road. So, I did have a place that I wanted to start, but I guess I will start here. We'll say that come March, the final winter snows are melting, and the area outside is just sopping wet with leftover water. But it is getting warmer. You all meet back in Bree, and would you all meet probably back at the Prancing Pony?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So, as you're all sitting there at the Prancing Pony, you can see that the hearth fire is blazing. It's very warm in here. There aren't too many people in here, but you found a quiet place in the corner just to kind of talk amongst yourselves. And when in walks Sigmar, along with a retinue of other individuals, including Falmir Fairbairns, all from Londair, for those audience members who may not remember. And they kind of scan the Prancing Pony for just a minute, and I almost said Green Dragon. They scan the Prancing Pony, and eventually Sigmar and Falmir, almost at the same time, make eye contact with your table, and they begin making their way over to you. And as they approach, they kind of stand there. You've got Sigmar and Falmir, as well as 4 other individuals who are kind of just standing there at the foot of your table. And Sigmar says, "Hi, well, it's good to see you. I've come for Skilda."
Hello.
Hello.
Glad to see you made it.
Yes, quite.
Yes, well, it seems you all made it through your journey. Where was it that you went again? The Isle of the Mother or something?
Yes.
Yes.
Quite far north, but it was an interesting journey, that's for sure.
Your return is glad tidings for us, isn't it, Falmir? Yes, of course, sir. Of course it is. And Falmir looks over at you, Miragar, and says, "Good to see you again." And at that,
Good to see you as well. Are you going to be stopping by the Shire at all on your trip up north? I don't know if you have any family, friends, or anything in town.
Oh no, I don't have any family around here. We're just here to pick up Skilda, and we'll be on our way back to Londair.
Good. Well, join us for a meal before you. Did you just get into town, or have you been here?
Yes, no, we just arrived. Just today, actually. We were looking for a place to stay, hopefully. Tell me, where is Skilda?
Oh, she's at my family residence at the moment. I wasn't sure that a bar is the best place for a girl to be.
Fair judgment on your part, Sigmar says. And at this point, you see a couple of the other individuals who were accompanying the two begin grabbing an unoccupied table and dragging it forward towards your table and placing chairs around so that they might sit. And at this point, a young boy, probably about 9 years old, who you all know as Barlaman at this point, comes up and says, "Does anybody need anything?" To which Falmir says, "I'll take a mead if you've got it." And Sigmar says, "Ale, please."
Miragar will probably top off with an ale. That sounds like a good idea to start the day.
He's probably already had something if we've been here a while, so he'll refrain for now.
Thrush is still nursing the same one, but he will light the pipe. And after he takes a couple of puffs off of it, he'll probably absentmindedly pass it over to Miragar as they're trading pieces of parchment back and forth with notes on them.
I feel like that's probably their thing. It's just happening almost reflexively, as we... or it gets emptied, you pass it to Miragar, he just, absent-mindedly tops it off again.
And Barlaman actually points. He's holding like a small stone with a piece of paper on it, and he's got a little quill that's been dipped in ink, and he points it over at you, Aranel, and says, "And for the Miss Lady Elf."
Another ale would be fine. Maybe bring some bread and cheese over.
Perfect. You can see he scrawls down some notes on his little pad, and go ahead and make me a scan roll.
I was just gonna say, Miragar wants to see what he's writing, if he's writing anything at all.
Do we all make a scan roll, or just those?
Anybody who wants to see it?
Sure, why not?
Jeez.
I'll see if I can.
I must be fixing the pipe.
I'm also fixing the pipe. Wait, no.
So, Aranel, you can see that whatever he's doing. And Larry, you can both see that whatever he's doing, he's not writing anything per se. He's actually, it looks like he's making wide looping movements. And as you kind of peer over and look at what it is, he's drawing. It looks like a stick figure with some pointy ears and a bow and arrow. And up above it, it's written Mrs. Elf.
She'll just smile to herself and just not say anything.
And Barlaman says, "I'll be right back with all that."
Yes. Keep up the good work, kid.
He gives you a nod and heads back.
I turned to
What's another
Aranel.
rail?
I kind of just turned to Aranel with a knowing look and just shrug.
And with this, a couple minutes later, Barlaman comes back and he hands everybody their drinks and the breads and cheeses. And Sigmar takes a big gulp of his ale and slams it down. He says, "Oh, it's been a long time since I've had good ale like that."
Well, how was your travel north? When we went to Landir, it was the weather wasn't perfect. And, of course, stopping in Tharbad wasn't the most pleasant experience.
Well, they harassed us a little bit, but having this guy around, and he elbows Falmir, and a retinue of, Knights of Landir, they didn't want any sort of political squabbles.
A little bit of a wide berth, one would say, or delicate gloves.
Yeah, they didn't give us too much trouble. Just let us pass right on through.
That's what we
That's
need.
good.
A retinue of knights.
And you can see these knights are not wearing any sort of standard attire. They don't have armor with, the sigil of Landir, stamped in it or anything like that. They're kind of just wearing ramshackled, not ramshackled. That's not the word I'm looking for. They're kind of It's like patchwork armor almost. Like they're wearing armor. Definitely, it is protective and it does its job, but it's not a standard Londare fare.
Is there no heraldry of any kind on their armor?
Most of them, no. Actually, as you kind of look over them, Falmir is actually the only one who's got any sort of heraldry on his armor.
Yes, I suppose they were quite intimidated by Fat Me here with his very elegant uniform.
Well, that's why I wear it. Gotta have some symbol of where I'm from, right? And you can tell just by talking to him that he loves what he does. He is very content with being a quote-unquote knight of Londare. And so Sigmar says, so as you know, before you all left on your journey, I wasn't really in the best of spots, but I went and talked to Queen Nemu, and she saw to it that we were able to get a bit of an addition put on the old house there. So if she's in a position to where, if Skilda's in a position to where she might come with me, I've got room for her.
Yes, I see. I guess that's ultimately up to her. It's quite the journey.
Yeah, it is. Thanks to the Queen's generosity and my escort here, I think that we'll all be in a better place. Skilda will be with family, and things are starting to look a little bit brighter.
That's good to hear.
And Thrush, without looking up from the notes, he's just going to kind of, with the pipe in his mouth, he's just going to ask offhand, so did Eager and his daughter make it back?
Oh yeah, they made it back sometime. It was around December. It was right around Yule, actually. Yeah, she's in good spirits.
Oh, that's excellent to hear.
Good.
As is he. He's not quite so cynical as he used to be.
Yes, well, I imagine having your daughter return to you will do that for you.
I would imagine so.
And I think we all learned a lot on that trip, for better or worse. I'm glad that Eager's spirits are high.
Yes.
Yeah. He says he won't be doing any sailing anytime soon, but we'll see about that. That sailing isn't going to sit dry docked forever.
Well, certainly not, but he has a lot of catching up to do.
That they do. Anyway, and with this, he downs the rest of his ale and slams the cup back down once again. I am rather excited about getting to see Skilda. It's been years since she was but a babe.
Of course. Well, once everyone concludes their business here, I have no problem taking you to my family home and letting you see her.
Very good.
You don't have to wait for us, Larry. Me and Thrush will probably be here all day. Of course, I guess maybe once the gentlemen all have a good hot meal, you guys can head over.
Yes, that sounds like a plan. Wouldn't want to ruin any potential hospitality from you. It was quite a long journey.
Yes, of course. Of course. And with that, you all have your meal, have your drinks, have some laughs, share some stories.
In the middle of this conversation, I probably whispered to Miragar, I'm like, maybe we should get some Knights of Bree, and you can be the first one.
And he'll like look at you and look around and be like, I don't know. Maybe before we went on that adventure, I would have been down for that. Some of the stuff I saw, I'd rather not go charging headlong into battle if I can't help it.
Yes, well, fair enough, I suppose. But, knights tend to usually be more defensive work, right? So, it might be a nice job.
True. Well,
What?
Falmir says, you could always come down to Londare, too. There's plenty of room for you down there.
that is true. I think I have some work up to do, but I'll be back. We'll definitely visit Londare before too long, hopefully.
And with that, is there anything else that anybody would like to do before we move on back to Larry's residence?
I feel like
thing.
at
One
least
thing that I didn't know if people remembered to do on their sheet is when Yule passes, I think we age a year. So I added a year onto Thrush. So
Yes, you're all a year older.
so
Because
old.
we
that
all have
last
the same
session.
birthday.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I'm like,
Some
does my
Chinese
character need an
stuff.
actual birthday, or do that answered it mechanically? I guess.
We were all born within like a few days of each other, just
We're all
different years.
born January 1st.
Hey,
Calendars were invented after you were born, so
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, as the conversation's going on, Larry will probably just ask about Queen Emu, obviously, since, they're all from Londaire, and she treated us well. Seems only right.
oh, the queen is great. She is ruling Londaire just as she always has. Fair and wise, as always. There have been some talks with Tharbad, although I don't know the specifics.
Huh, I see.
But it seems as though maybe some relations are going on there. Oh, and I did hear, just north of Londaire, and he gets kind of close in. Along the shore, there was a large black ship that was spotted. Nobody really knows what it was.
I can't help but feel. But actually, was Aranel the only one who actually spotted this thing? Now that I think about it,
The
Aranel
barge?
was she was the only one who actually saw like a large dark shape in the mist.
Oh, okay, yeah.
okay. Then, if she wants to say anything about it, she can. Because I don't know.
Yeah, she would kind of pipe up. Was it on the coast?
Yeah, it was just off the coast. It was spotted by one of the kids near one of the fishing villages north of Londaire.
Huh. I think I saw it on our way up to the Isle of the Mother. But
Really?
Huh, I don't think you'd mentioned this to us before. I guess it wasn't
Oh.
important at the time.
I woke up Thrush, but he couldn't see it, so I
Ah,
thought maybe my eyes were just playing tricks on me.
no, your eyes are just better than ours.
I mean, probably true.
A closest of a thing is as I hear it. They say it was unlike any other ship that's been spotted. It's not elvish. It's not of the men of Gondor. It's something else. I'm not sure.
Ill tidings for anybody traveling around the coast.
Well, perhaps. You said it was, supposedly, black? Is there any other descriptor?
No, I didn't see it for myself, and suppose the kid who saw it didn't actually provide much of a description. They just said it was real big and it looked strange.
Seems to be
Describe-
moving south then.
Described red sails.
Red sails.
Does that sound familiar at all? Or completely not familiar at all?
How far have you traveled?
The farthest he has been south is probably now over here is on the land is Londaire. He's been down past Lorien. He's been to Gondor to Minas Tirith. But he hasn't traveled a whole lot farther than that. Like he's mostly stayed in these lands and up into Lindon and everything.
Okay. Yeah, since you've been down to Minas Tirith, I would say I'd allow a lore roll.
Okay.
Or a riddle roll, whichever.
Let's go with lore and see what happens here.
Nice.
Okay.
You are a boat expert, apparently.
Well,
Okay.
actually,
So, you know that there are a number of seafaring civilizations, so to speak. Gondor being one of the most prominent, and the elves also being very prominent in seafaring. But one other that maybe you haven't seen necessarily in person is that of Umbar.
Those guys.
And you do, you have heard tales of them building gargantuan ships and sailing, usually, under 4 masts, sometimes 5, all bearing red sails.
And he knows that would he know that they are like the descendants from the Black Numenorians, or would that not be part of, or his assumption, I guess?
Yeah,
or would it not be really.
You rolled, I mean, you got a success icon in there. I would say that, yeah, you'd probably at least make that connection.
Okay. And he'll just kind of grumble and tap out the pipe and just say, distant kin. Not good folk.
Really, you know him?
I think I know of them. Umbar? I don't know if you've ever heard of Umbar?
I don't believe I have, but I'm guessing they're quite far south.
Could Aranel do a lore roll now that he has mentioned the name?
Sure. Yeah.
Wait.
Well, yeah. Us elves have boat races with them all the time.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you would know of Umbar. You would have at least some familiarity with them. You know that they've had conflict with Gondor for some time.
I've read about them.
They were not faithful. Fell away from Valar.
Are they a threat to Lindon?
That could be. They see it as ripe for picking.
So they're pirates.
Who knows? They're like all men.
Well, they didn't stop in Nondare, so that's a bit of a good tiding, I suppose. I don't know what they were doing out there, but hopefully it wasn't nothing maniacal.
Yes. Well, we saw them on our way north. I guess it would be surprising for them to be so far north. I wonder what they were looking for.
Who knows? Maybe they just got lost.
Because I believe I saw them close to the Gulf of Loon. So they're definitely going south.
That's up near your people, isn't it?
Yes.
I wonder what they'd be doing up there.
I don't know.
Perhaps they got bored of pestering Gondor.
Perhaps. Well, anyway, that's all that I know about what's going on. It's still pretty quiet in London, outside of tales of all your doings.
Ah, yes. I don't suppose your astrologer had any more visions about me.
Well, upon, I mean, not that I know of, really. He just kind of seemed more surprised than anything that his vision actually came true. He was
Yes.
kind of, he was kind of regarded as someone who, he was kind of a madman before, and now all of a sudden there's kind of a change in tone towards him about how people regard him.
Yes, well, hopefully it doesn't go to his head.
Oh, he'll start rambling about something else.
Yes, well, if nothing else, his visions did set us on the track to reunite Eagle with his daughter, and I get a nice spear out of it, so worse things have happened.
I'm glad you all came back, but let's hope he doesn't get anybody killed with his ramblings either.
Yes, that is fair. Anyways, if you've all enjoyed your meal, we have
Oh.
business to attend to.
Yep. They slide their chairs back, and they leave a couple silver pennies on the table, to which Barliman comes and scoops them up shortly thereafter. And you all make your way back to your residence. And
Unless Miragar and Thrush are just going to stay there smoking all day.
yeah, that's up to you guys.
I think Miragar is going to stay at the inn, and a little bit is because he doesn't. Over the time they've been here, he's probably, been part of the whole Skilda. Do you know how to read? Do you know how to write? Interacting a little bit. He's kind of like, I don't want to see her go. So he's kind of like, nope, I'm gonna stay here. It's fine.
Yeah, Larry's kind of sitting here like, I mean, I don't want her to go, but I can't make her stay either. But we'll see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting interaction.
Yeah, I think Aranel would go with, because she wants to say goodbye.
Thrush is going to stay because, he's not all that interested in getting involved in the family politics.
That's the smart choice, to be honest.
All right. So you all make your way up the wet streets of Bree back to Larry's home. And as you enter, you can see that Skilda is there tending to her studies. She's actually, it looks like she's reading a book. And as you open the door, she looks up. Larry!
Skilda, dear, we have a very special guest for you here today.
Oh, really? Who is it? And you can see she's like trying to look past you as you're blocking the doorway.
Well, this is your uncle, Sigmar.
Oh. And with that, she scoots her chair back and gets up from the table and stands off to the side and gives a modest curtsy and says, "It's nice to meet you, Uncle Sigmar. Am I to be going back with you now?" Which, Larry, give me an insight roll. And Aranel as well.
Okay. Her insight's not great, but we'll see. No.
No? Okay.
No. I mean,
To which Sigmar actually says, "Well, if you would come with me, yeah. I'd happily take you back with me. I've got room now. And hopefully I can make it a home just like you had with your parents." And she looks over at you, Larry, and you, Aranel, and you can see that she's got a few tears in her eyes. And she's quiet for a bit. To which point Sigmar says, "You know, you don't have to if you don't want to. I know you've been with these people for a while and you'd probably grown quite close to them. And at this point you can tell that he's unaware of what exactly he needs to say at this point, because this is a situation that he's not been in before.
right.
There's a bit of an awkward silence.
Larry will probably come and be like, Skilda, dear, you have had to grow up faster than most girls your age, and this is a decision that only you can make. But just know that we here, your so-called adoptive family here in Bree, we care about you greatly, but your uncle's also your own kin, so this is a decision for you to make. And if you need time, that's quite all right.
With that, she kind of grabs your wrist and pulls you down to her level and just kind of whispers. She's like, I don't know what I need to do. I like it here, but he's my uncle. And my dad would have let me to go back with him too.
Well, what does your heart say?
give me an enhearten roll real quick, if you would.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
She says, Larry, I want to stay here.
All right. We'd be happy to keep you here. But we'll try to at least take you to visit your uncle sometime.
Really? I like that. I get to go off with you on one of your adventures.
Well, we'll try to make sure it's a safe one, but yes.
To which Sigmar kind of, he walks over and gets down on one knee and he says, Silda, if this is really what you want, I support you in that. I wouldn't want to take you away from any new family that you've made. Just know that you've always got a bed in my house if you need it. To which she wipes her nose a little bit. Thanks, Uncle.
Larry might whisper to her. He's like, give him a hug.
Which she reaches out and hugs him around the neck. And she looks at you as if, like, am I doing this right?
She's just gonna nod.
And she lets go, and he stands back
up there. He'd be like, "You gotta move your hands up over the." Oh no! I mean,
oh no! Oh God, no!
And he stands up. He straightens out his shirt, and he pats Falmir on the shoulder. He says, "Right, well, I think we need to rest up. We'll be in town for another couple of days, and we'll be on our way back to London."
Well, you're more than welcome to at least spend time with young Silda here. I'm sure she'd love to hear all about her uncle.
I'd like that. Thank you.
And,
Larry.
well, it may be painful, but I'm sure you have stories about her father that she'd love to hear.
You wouldn't believe. All right. And with that, they all kind of file out of the house. Is there anything that the rest of you would like to do during this time?
I might turn to Aranel and be like, that was a lot more difficult than I expected.
Yes, it's difficult to leave blood family for adopted family, but in this case, she can stay with us, and we can always facilitate visits, and if Sigmar can come up every once in a while.
Yes.
Maybe
Eventually. She'll want to go live with her uncle for a little while. But
yes. Perhaps over the summer at some point.
All right.
And perhaps you can teach her some archery. And then maybe she can be your brother as well.
Miss Aranel, I really like that.
of course.
We'll have to get you a bow, but one thing at a time.
I hear the ones down in Archet are really good. That's just what people around town were saying.
What were you reading anyways, dear?
Oh, I was just reading over some recipes. And how, well, a lot of it had to do with how to prepare certain types of meats. There was some, what I was looking at was going specifically through how to prepare a deer.
Well, we can certainly get a deer for you.
I like that. It's a really fun way of doing it where you take a chicken's egg and you coat the deer in it, and then you roll it in flour and you put it in a pan, and supposedly it's supposed to help it retain its juices, but I haven't tried it myself. Really, all I've got around here right now is bacon. That's all I've had for the last couple of days.
Yes.
Somewhere across town, Miragar looks up at Thrush and goes, "Are you hungry again?"
I smell bacon.
All of a sudden, I really want deer.
And
Should we
he's
do a
gonna-
hunt?
Yep. He's like, yes, but for the moment, we should go up and see what they have in the back. And he's going to go up and
Yes.
find out what they have in terms of meat that's actually prepared at the moment.
Well, you find that they've got some nice cured hams hanging in the back.
It's all hams.
Ham.
Yep.
Ham it is.
A little bit,
Ham.
a little bit of mutton, but you know, it's
I
very
think-
popular.
Are
around here.
any of the hams steamed?
No steam.
No honey hams. Yeah, I think when he comes back with some of the ham, he should say, I think a hunt would not be a bad idea. It wouldn't go amiss.
So, is there anything else that Miragar and Thrush would want to do?
Just copying down some of the notes, making notes on his notes, looking at the maps that I have, going over everything that he talked about in his story since he was writing.
All right.
And I'm sure I've read the song a few times, and maybe have added a quip here or a word here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, can I copy this and put it in my book?
And as you're doing that, an older woman actually approaches the table, which you guys are sitting at. And she slams her hand down on the table and says, "Oi, ain't you those adventurers that've been wandering about?"
That I guess so.
He's just going to raise his eyes up to her, looking, wondering if he's gotten the whole group in trouble somehow.
"What are you gonna do about my hamfest?
You're what?
Pardon?
My boy Hamfest, he ran off. That old grey wizard convinced him to run off, and he done run off.
When?
About 2 weeks past. He's not a hero. He's not sort of go swinging swords or fighting trolls or anything. He left the house without so much as a travel cloak.
Did he mention at all where he was headed? This crazy man sent him?
That old wizard took him up to it was towards Dead Man's Dyke, which
Has Gandalf been in town?
you could ask around.
So, am I right in thinking that's Froste that she's talking about, or is that?
Yeah, so you would know it as Fornos de Rain, which
Yeah.
is along the Greenway. You would probably know it, Miragar, as Norbury.
I'll wave down Barlaman and I'll say, hey, have you seen Gandalf here recently?
Gandalf?
Yeah, big, tall
Gandalf.
wizard. Probably always has a treat for you.
Oh, yes. I remember. Elderly chap. Big grey beard, pointy hat.
That'd be him.
Not seen him 6 months.
It's about time we saw him.
And this woman is human, right? She's a Bree Lander. She's
Yes.
not a Hobbit.
Yeah, she is a human. You look at her, she's probably in her 60s.
Okay.
She's wearing kind of a bonnet with a very plain, like robin's egg blue dress and a white apron that you can see has a little bit of blood on it. Looks like she's probably been working with meats and such.
Yeah.
A little bit of dirt under her fingernails. And she says, that old wizard took my hamfest and trudged off with him.
And he'll stand up at this point and look down at her and just say, "What's your name, woman?"
Lucinda Willow.
We're certainly going to go see what's going on.
How long ago did they leave?
It's about 2 weeks past.
2 weeks passed. 2 weeks passed.
Well, looking at the map, how long would it take us to get to Norbury or Fort Honest?
About 7 days ish, if under favorable conditions.
Well, Thrush, I think we will need to discuss this further with the rest of our adventuring friends. And where may we find you, Lucinda?
I'm around. Live on the lower hill.
Okay. That way I can at least ask for her. Well, we're going to need to consult the rest of our party to see if we can maybe gather some information. But we will get back with you within the next day or two with our findings from there, and we would love to help you look for your son, and then we will do such.
Please,
Thrush.
do what you can. He's just a boy. He didn't know no better.
How old is Hamfest?
He's just a boy of 17. He's not old hair. He's not quite right in the head. He fell off a horse when he was but a lad.
So yeah, I guess we're going to gather up papers and such.
Yeah.
I mean, we know where they're going, or they went, so they may be coming back. So we're not going to probably have too much trouble finding them, I don't think.
Yeah. Miragar, belts his new shiny dagger, his other weaponry or whatever he may have with him. Say we should probably go find Larry there, right? They're probably still at the Rushmore house.
Yeah.
Rushlight house. Rushmore.
Rushlight. Got it.
So how much are
That sounds like
daggers?
something.
Just drag one over.
Yeah, it's within your standard of living. You can just grab it.
Yeah. We learned daggers have a load of 0, so there's no reason not to have them mechanically.
Yeah, you should have just like those pirate belts you see where they got like 6 pistols. You just got like 18
A
daggers
million
shoved
daggers.
in the belt.
But they're all
I mean-
a point outwards, so they're defensive.
What are those called where they have those wooden stakes that are buried in the ground to protect against cavalry? Like I can't remember what they're what they're called.
Yeah, those things.
But you're walking one of those things.
You're a porcupine, a hedgehog, whatever.
Yeah.
Grab a couple daggers. So if all else fails, she's got something.
They are cheval de frise. They're French.
Who's a what's it?
The
Or they're
anti
called archer stakes, because that's also where the archers would stand. Tall traps.
Mm,
Got a few different names for them.
very nice.
We're learning today.
Yes. Look at that.
Just learn.
And
Not
not
the
just
Fear of
about
Ages
Tolkien.
Past, where we not only go on an adventure, but we learn things.
And not just
Battle
about
strategies.
Tolkien legendarian, but medieval history.
Yes, all of the rabbit holes. We just
Yes.
jump right in.
So, Miragar and Thrush head off to the Rushlight house.
All right, and there you see everybody gathered around. Skilda is currently just reading a book, and the other two are just kind of doing their own thing.
How
probably-
did the whole Skilda's uncle Sigmar? What came of that?
He decided that the girl has the right to make her own choice and that he'll gladly accept her visiting, but if she wishes to stay here, then that's up to her.
I'm glad you didn't give up my favorite little rabbit.
Yes. So, I don't suppose you all arrived because you spontaneously had the idea to hunt a deer, because we were actually thinking about that.
Well, we were just talking about doing a hunt, kind of to relieve boredom, and we've been looking at maps and notes and stuff for so long, and you might know her name, Larry, Lucinda Willow, lives on Lower Hill here in town. Who borderline accosted us, claiming that her son took off with Gandalf.
Would I know
To the
her?
north.
Would I know her having lived here for so long?
You probably would have heard the name around
I've
town.
heard the
She's
name.
a-
I don't know
she's
if
a-
I've
Yeah, she's
Said
a
her
butcher
name.
who lives down on the lower hill.
I haven't interacted much with her directly, but yes, I know her.
Yeah, her son Hemfest, a bit of a slow lad apparently. Was coerced off with, it sounded like Gandalf, but talking to Barlaman, they haven't seen Gandalf in, well, probably since about the time me and you got back, if not before that.
Yes, I don't think I recall encountering Ebola over Yule. So, are we dealing with some imposter?
Another wizard, maybe? I don't know much. Well, somebody maybe saying they're a wizard. No matter what it sounds like, I know
It's
her
not
son
Gandalf.
is. No, it doesn't appear to be so. Or if it is, then I feel like there would be more to this story than I took your kid to do something. It might be worth us investigating, since we've a reputation already as heroes or adventurers in town.
Yes, and it got us accosted by a butcher.
Well, to be fair, I would say arguably the last butcher we met was a troll, and that didn't end quite as well for her, so this is probably a step up.
I have to say I was a little more intimidated by this one.
Oh, is that so?
Feisty little women.
Yes, well, I do hear that there is nobody like a mother protecting her child, so I believe it, actually.
But I was thinking of spending the day maybe trying to find rumors of this mysterious gray man to see if anybody else had been asked to accompany him, kind of like Jari, but hopefully not, leading to a troll's den.
Yes, I do. This does sound like it's worth our time.
Oh, I can spend some time asking about, maybe with the guards and some others, if you want to go about looking into the inns and other places.
Yes, that sounds like a promising start.
But I just wanted to get everybody else's opinion on it, for I think a missing child, especially if he's not all there in the head, it would be important. If somebody is impostoring as Gandalf, also thing to look into.
I would agree.
To keep
Agreed.
people happy and safe around here is a good thing. So, yeah, Thrush is going to take some time. Then he'll go, wandering around the edge of the town where maybe the little less, not less reputable people, but the people who are a little coarser, like a little more amenable to maybe talking to a ranger about rumors and such, spreading, a penny here or there when he buys drinks for someone somewhere. Just trying to be very subtle about it, because this is where I'm getting into the subtle, using his riddle, not giving away what we're doing, but trying to find out information about
what is your riddle roll? I'll be helping you no matter what. What
he's
is your-
favored, but only has one die in it.
I'm favored and have 2.
So it's possible that I should be assisting you.
But yeah, same kind of thing. They play almost good cop, bad cop, almost like Miragar's we're looking for blah 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 blah. And Thrush is
I was hoping Miragar was the bad cop, honestly.
that would be Thrush is like, hey, how you doing? Miragar's like, I'm gonna stub your toe if you don't start talking.
Whoa! Let's be nice here about this. Sorry, he's just a little angry.
Listen, buddy. If you don't tell me what I want to know, you are gonna miss your second breakfast for a week.
The things I've been through this last year, you would make a normal person beg for mercy.
You know why they call him two-step? You cross him, you're only going to get 2 steps in.
I used to be inquisitive, and now I'm married. That should tell you a lot.
Wow.
All right. So, you two begin making your rounds around Bree, and you come around to on probably the last side street, branching off the main road, leading towards the south gate, and that takes you down towards the east row. And there you can see, in probably about a middle-aged, younger to middle-aged gentleman, and he is just walking down the row with a mule in tow. And let's see. Miragar, you would know that this is John Fernie. And he...
good afternoon, John.
Oh, Miragar, how are you?
Doing well. I find myself in a bit of a conundrum. We're hearing tidings that Gandalf has recently been by when I haven't seen him for quite some time, and heard he is maybe recruiting for something, and you haven't seen Gandalf or heard of anybody recruiting for an adventure to the north, have you?
Well, you know, my memory's a bit foggy, but I don't know.
I mean,
Perhaps
I'm
a
sure
drink might
that
refresh it.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure Butterbur has a nice ale on tap. Why don't we head that way, and you can tell me what you know along the way.
Right. Let me fence up old Bill here. And he heads back towards his house and puts the mule into a pen and follows you back to the Green Dragon. Or dang it, I did it again. He follows you back towards he follows you all the way back to the Shire for several
I'm
days.
just glad you didn't say back to Larry's house.
Back to Larry's house. I mean Thrush's house. Wait, Thrush doesn't have a house.
Before we leave, though, Miragar hands Bill a nice apple.
Oh, right. He kind of squeezes it a little bit, just ripe enough. He takes a big bite out of it, and proceeds talking with you as you walk with his mouth full, and you can see just chunks of apple flying out of his mouth. And as you reach the Prancing Pony, that is where we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Welcome, Tavern goers, and thank you for listening to this Tales from the Dragon's Tavern production. I am JJ, and I just wanted to ask that if you are enjoying our content, that you go subscribe to our Patreon, Tales from the Dragon's Tavern, where we are making it our one-stop shop for all of the content we plan to produce. As we grow and we are able to give you more content, we will probably update our memberships, but for now, it'll be free. And it'll give you access to all our social medias, our Discord channel, and all of those places that you can get our content, but we're going to make sure it's all in one spot for you as well. Cheers, and I hope you enjoy Tales from the Dragon's Tavern.
And we are back. As we come to the Prancing Pony with Thrush and Miragar and John Fernie. As they are doing that, let's check in with Larry and Aranel. Is there anything that you all are doing at this point in time?
I mean, she's no good at hunting rolls, but do you want to go hunt for a deer?
Oh, let's go find a deer.
She can help scan for one.
Okay. All right. So, you all, we'll just make this pretty quick. You all make your way up just north into the outskirts of the Chetwood. And here, close to Bree, you can see that there are plenty of game trails. However, I would have one of you give me a hunting roll to see if you can pick one that's fresh.
All right, I will.
I'll assist you.
Yep, a hunting with the support from the companion.
Hey,
look at that. Okay, so you're kind of scanning around. You're looking throughout the underbrush, and with the recent melting snow, these game trails are very prominent. But easily enough, you are able to find a game trail that seems suitable, and so you begin following it. And after following it for a good, probably half mile or so, you come to what looks to be a glade, And at this point, it's probably getting to be early evening. The sun's beginning to set, and you can see that the deer are out in this field just grazing. Go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
Oh, yes. All the dice.
Very good. Okay. Yeah, you both kind of hunker down, and with the ground being as wet as it is, you don't have to worry about dry leaves cracking underneath your feet. All the twigs are just flexible enough to not snap underneath your weight. And you make your way around and find an advantageous position. You can see there's a number of deer out here, a few good-sized does, but you do see a couple of bucks. I'll tell you what, give me a scan roll real quick as well.
Got you.
Oh,
Gandalf.
Gandalf.
Just on the other side of this glade, you see a gray wizard pointing at one. He's like, "Shoot this one! Shoot this one!"
They got a great success.
Yeah. With those rolls, yeah, you both kind of peer around and look at this herd of grazing deer, undisturbed, as it were, peacefully grazing in the field, and you spy probably one of the largest bucks you've ever seen. You look and it's got tines that stretch up. It seems like, a full 3 feet off of its head. It's got 10 points on its antlers. And I'm going to need, I guess, just a shot with a bow.
Sweet. Scan roll first. Oh, I don't get any bonus, but that's okay.
I will give you a bonus die because you're taking it unawares.
Okay, gotcha. So, bonus die.
Even still, a great success. And with that, you loose an arrow, and it finds purchase directly behind the shoulder. You can see that this buck prances up once and looks around confusedly and drops almost exactly where you shot it. No tracking required.
That'll make a good few meals.
Yep. And you go and you pick it up, and you can tell that this is a very heavy deer. Definitely, probably close to the, between 300 and 400 pounds. I mean, it's very, very good size.
Alrighty. Well, did Larry bring his, no.
I was going to try to craft something, but it's like, I think we have to do this the hard way.
A stretcher?
Aranel.
I mean, Aranel could try to craft something to help us.
Yeah, sure, you can try.
Let's see. Hey!
Hey!
Look at that. Okay.
Exactly.
So what is it that you craft to assist you in bringing this deer back?
So I'm assuming she would just find, like, a couple of sturdy branches. To, like, tie the deer to. So that it's kind of like a stretcher, so that Larry could pick up the front or the back or whatever. And just hoist it and
very good. And
wallow it through.
You craft this stretcher, I guess. And it definitely makes carrying this deer back easier. You're able to get back to Bree in record time. By the time you get back to Bree, it is probably, it's getting close to bedtime. You were out for a couple of hours.
Oh gosh, this is the episode where everyone's going to start shipping the human with the elf because they they went and got a deer for the little girl.
Yeah. They shared a hunt. It was beautiful.
They shared a hunt. They murdered.
You don't have a crazy age difference, so
yeah.
This
how
kid's
old is Larry again?
100 years. That's pretty close.
I mean, yeah, you're probably like 20% of her age as opposed to 3, like we were talking about with Aragorn and Harwin.
Yeah.
So, all right. But as you get older, the number just becomes less and less important, I suppose. All right. So you all bring that back to Bree, and I assume you probably begin skinning and preparing that.
Yes.
Yep.
Meanwhile, back at the
Actual
Prancing Pony,
important stuff.
you all, and by you all I mean Miragar and Thrush, sit at a table with John Fernie. And you can tell he is taking advantage of your every generosity, drinking his ale, eating his meats and cheeses and breads, basically eating his fill on your dime. And between mouthfuls of food, he says, So what was it that you wanted again?
Well, we were looking to see if you'd seen Gandalf recently or knew of anybody who was looking for people to adventure north and travel. It was left about, 2 weeks ago now?
With that, he has a big swallow, and you can hear him gulp as his food travels down his throat. Yeah, I heard about him. People were talking about him getting free drinks from people down at the Lamplighter Inn in Staddle. Why you ask?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I expected if Gandalf was going to be in the area that he would come searching for us, since we did him a favor recently and we haven't talked to him since. So I was surprised to hear that he was in the area, and even more surprised to hear that he was recruiting young men such as Emfast. I'm sure you're familiar with Lucinda Willow's son.
Yeah, Lucinda keeps jumping down my throat after he fell off one of my horses many years ago. She never let that go, the old hag.
Yeah, well, she seems pretty upset that said a wizardly fellow matched Gandalf's description, but it just doesn't seem like something Gandalf would do.
Do we know, does Gandalf normally, when he goes places like that, does he get drinks from people? Is that what he was describing? Is that normally his MO?
Based on what you know about Gandalf, that does not sound like something that he would do.
That's kind of what I thought. Okay.
Basically, he goes through naming all kinds of places that he had heard that Gandalf had been seen, and none of these places are his usual haunts, at least to your perception and your knowledge of Gandalf and where he normally is.
Okay.
Interesting.
He never darkened my doorstep, though.
Yeah. Well, Fernie, I appreciate the information. Miragar will kind of look at Thrush.
And at that, he nods with a mouthful of bread, and he holds his glass out to you, and just kind of like
cheers him.
And you cheers it, and you can tell that the glass is empty. He pulls it back. He says,
Parliament,
another one.
One more round for us, please.
And when we get done with that round, Thrush is just he's been kind of thinking here, but he's just gonna kind of put a nice firm handshake onto the guy's hand, and then put a firm push down, kind of like holding onto his shoulder as he leaves, and just says, "Stay out of trouble." And just kind of walk out, give Miragar a look like, but at least we got information.
It's like, I hate doing this the way the Bree Landers do it, but it does work.
Yes, well, I knew if Fernie seems to know a little bit about everything going on, and truthfully, the price isn't too bad.
Well, at least I think we figured out that it was not our friend Gandalf. I don't know what it was, though. Another
But
Terran
how?
memory.
Yeah, how far is the lamplighter from us? Like, where? How?
It's just around the hill.
Okay, it's just.
Yes, it's within a day.
Well, I think maybe that might need to be our next stop before we head north.
Yeah.
I think if they already have 2 weeks on us, I don't think leaving an extra day is gonna do too much. What is? I don't. I mean, where did she said they were headed? Norbury, up north. What is even up there?
Fornost. It's a old place.
So do you think maybe they're looking for treasure?
Could be bandits. Who knows? I haven't been up there in a while. I'm not sure who's doing what around there. Well, I suppose we should find the group, see what they've been up to with their afternoon, and let them know
tomorrow.
Plan down a trip.
Yeah, and maybe tomorrow at least head over to Staddle and check the lamplighter and see if we could maybe glean some information there. If not, I think maybe we should we know where they're going. We don't really get much. We should at least head there.
Right. All right. Oh, I guess our course is set.
All right.
I like to imagine that as they get to Larry's house, Larry and Aranel are like dragging in this giant buck. Hey, help us out here.
Hey,
They went hunting without us.
Were we the ones who wanted to go hunting?
Yes.
Well, you went off to gather information, so Larry and I went.
yes, young.
It's a
Silda-
beautiful buck. Don't get me wrong.
Well, young
but
Silda
quite
wanted
rude.
to try a new recipe, and I felt like I couldn't say no to the darling. What can I say?
But we just ate. I don't think Miragar could fit another morsel in his stomach.
Do you
I
know
mean,
who
I
you're
would-
talking to?
I will help Silda. And he'll walk into the house and be like, Silda, do you need hand in the kitchen? We've got the deer. Have you ever dressed a deer before?
Well, no, Mr. Two-Step, I've not. In this book, it says you gotta cut around the, where it excrements, and then skin it, and then you go and you take the organs out, being careful not to cut the guts. But I've not done it myself. It sounds easy, but I don't know if it is.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think, you know what? And he's going to kind of sly smirk and turn around and be like, I think Larry has probably cleaned his fair share of... And since they, it's the prize of their catch, I'm sure him and Aranel would love to show you hands-on. I'll get some seasonings ready.
At which point, Skilda comes over to you and says, "Oh, please, will you show me how to do it so I can do it later?"
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, right. So as you all begin dressing this deer, just give me a quick craft roll. Or, I'm sorry, not craft, hunting.
I will support because she is craft.
Very
There we
good.
go.
Okay.
I am an expert at deer crafting, apparently. Or deer
Very
dressing.
Yeah, so easily enough, you dress this deer. Takes you maybe 15 minutes. You're able to, you hang the deer up. You're able to remove the skin, basically starting at the top I guess at the rear, making small incisions, and then you're able to just pull it down and get the skin off. And you make expert cuts throughout the torso, removing the sac which holds all of the organs and setting them aside. And you are able to begin stripping meat from the body, to which Skilda is hurriedly taking notes. And you do a great job. You've got some good cuts of meat there and quite a bit of it.
Hopefully enough to preserve some of it for the road,
Yeah.
so we don't have to just only eat rations and bread. Because I know Miragar is going to load up on pastries before we leave.
So
And
now, Miragar,
As you have that thought and look back, Miragar's like, Thrush, there's this place by the lamplighter that has the best cherry turnovers.
It's better than the fish pies in Londaire.
Yes. Almost anything is better than those. But
Hey, they weren't that bad.
Listen, that old lady.
they weren't that good either. But
That old lady
where
was
we
doing
were-
her best.
I'd eat them again. I'm just saying I've had better.
Now, Miragar, don't eat all of the deer. We do want to have some of it for travel.
I know I eat a lot, but eating a whole deer in one sitting is quite the energy. Sounds like a
Yes.
challenge.
Yes, it could be a challenge when we come back. Perhaps there should be some sort of eating competition as opposed to just the smoking festival.
The prize would be a custom tunic.
Or a large belt
Could
with
be.
many notches.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe.
Alright. So as you all are talking, Skilda comes over to you, Miragar, and says, "Oh, are we going to cook it now?"
Of course. Where's that book of yours? We'll follow the instructions on cooking it.
Oh, here. And she holds it out, straight-armed, very excitedly, sharing her knowledge with you.
Yeah, Miragar will set it up, so we can read it as we're doing stuff, and he's already pretty much got the proper seasonings, and he'll tell Skilda that these books use very bland seasoning normally, but this is the real way to season it.
All right. And what I would do, I will have you give me a craft roll, but I would consider this book a useful item, so go ahead and take a bonus die with that.
Nice.
I'll assist since I'm there as well, so you get 2 die on top of that.
Very nice.
Ooh.
It is quite good. The smell fills the house, and all of your mouths begin to water, even though many of you have eaten already. What seasonings do you use? Because I might be taking personal note of this, me as the human being, not the dungeon.
Well, when you're cooking something like deer or veal, it's got real earthy, kind of grassy notes to it. So you want to use, I always like juniper. I like rosemary. A little bit of cinnamon is always really good. Obviously, salt and pepper heavily. I like cinnamon personally when I'm cooking anything like that because it gives it a good crispy layer too, that sugar in there. But I like the earthier tones when I'm cooking something like that's going to be more of an iron-rich meat like that.
Very nice. That's actually we learned another thing today.
Real
You're
life.
I did not too long ago, actually, about a
We've
month
been-
and a half ago. I actually made like a veal roast.
Anything to add, Frost?
I love rosemary. Rosemary, marjoram, and garlic on venison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like some like crushed up whole junipers in there too, kind of that nice earthy pepperiness in them.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to see if I can get my hands on some junipers. I'm a
don't
big
think
fan of
I've ever
rosemary
had
as
that.
well. I put that on all my steaks.
Hmm.
All right.
Well, there
But
you have it.
this venison is divine. Absolutely
The audience
divine.
is going to be hungry now.
Yeah. And they're like, I think they forgot about this Gandalf character.
The what, Dolph?
What?
Were we supposed to do something?
Listen, this kid's name is like what, Hamfast or whatever.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's like we're doing deer fasting right now, so he's gonna have to hold.
He'll be okay. So we'll just fill them in what we learned over the meal. Let them know that I think tomorrow it's probably going to be us heading out.
Well, very good.
Good. We'll have to pack up some of this meat for the road.
Yes.
Yes, we'll leave some out to dry maybe overnight. It normally takes a few extra days, but with some heavily salting, might speed up the process.
Yes. Well, do leave some for young Silda.
All right. So, is there anything else you all wanted to do before you hit the hay for the evening?
Just probably talk to Silda, let her know that we'll be leaving, that my family's due back in about 2 days, so to, as always, greet them and treat them well. And to stay safe.
Will do, Mr. Larry.
And I'm sure your uncle will be dropping by these few days as well to talk to you and just see how you're doing.
Yeah, I can tell him how to skin a deer.
Yes, you can. I know he's quite a talented fisherman. He could probably teach you about that.
Well, I don't know. Where can I go fishing around here? I don't know.
There's some rivers and streams around. There's fish around.
All right. Well, maybe he can take me fishing before he leaves.
Yes.
Maybe that'd be fun too.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. And with that, the evening comes to a close, and you all get your full rest. Even though, I don't think really any of you have any issues that need healing over the course of the night. But you wake up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed the next morning. The day is a little bit overcast with just these very light but icy cold sprinkles that come down over the course of the day. But is the first thing you do is to head to Staddle?
Yeah, that's
That's where Lamplighter
that's where Lamplighter is, right? That's
Yeah.
And now that's the same place that we ate at when we were there at the smoke festival, right? Was that the one that had all the bacon and everything? Okay, Yep, that's what
So I think before we leave, or even the night before, Miragar will pen a quick note to Thalmar if he does come around with Sigmar. Just to kind of say, hey, adventurers were needed here in the north. Make it sound a little bit more
Grand.
important. Yeah. Kind of give it a grandeur to it, kind of thing.
Okay.
And that, if we miss him on our return, we will send word of our ventures to Landover, kind of thing. Like, yeah, I think I've decided I can't let him one up me.
You
I
hobbits
like
are
it.
interesting folk.
Listen, I am the designated Hobbit Knight here, not him.
Does Bree have like a herald insignia or anything like that? Is there anything like that in canon?
I don't think so. Let me Google that real quick.
It looks like there is an emblem. 2 pipes crossed with some fire and chestnuts up top.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Then Miragar will definitely draw that on his note and smear some of his pipe tobacco ash across it, really to sell it in.
I like it. I don't know how you found that. I'm still looking, but either way.
I just typed symbol of Bree, LOTR, and then went to images.
Oh, well.
Because that's the easiest way to find stuff.
I typed in Bree heraldry, and apparently it's a family, and it brought up the family crest, and I'm like,
oh my gosh.
That's not right.
Oh no.
I see that, and then just a lot of prancing pony, which
Yep,
fair
I'll
enough.
be sure to save that so I can post it along with other stuff as the episodes air for the audience.
It's canon now.
It's canon. That's it.
Our canon doesn't matter.
That's true.
Even if it's not canon, Miragar decided to create it on the spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's got 2 pipes. It's got to be Miragar's thing. Like it fits.
So, you all begin making your way around Bree Hill back towards Staddle. And you make it there within a day. About the time you come in, it is getting to be late afternoon. It has not stopped raining. It has been just overcast and wet and rainy all day, and you all are pretty well soaked to the bone. But you do successfully make your way to the Lamplighter Inn, and you can see the usual fare. People wandering in and out. A lot of people heading in to kind of take shelter from the rain. But you do smell very fine smells coming from the Lamplighter Inn, both the smells of fine meats and breads, as well as a few drunkards wandering about outside. And you can hear that they're arguing about something, but their words are almost indiscernible.
Well, make sure that they're not fighting with one another. We'll let everybody else go in first, and he'll follow in last.
Yeah, you can see one of them kind of shoves one with one arm, and he falls to the ground and gets up, and you can see he is just covered in mud at this point. And based on that, you can tell that they might be mad at each other, and it might come to blows, but these two are too intoxicated to really do any damage.
All right. Head on in.
All right, and it is...
As you were, gentlemen.
And it is very busy on the inside of the Lamplighter Inn. You see Carla Tunnelly cleaning glasses behind a very low counter. And she's handing out ales and cleaning glasses in between, and sees you all and says, "Oi, what you have?"
I think a round of ale for all of us here, and maybe a ear for a question, if you don't mind.
"Oh yeah, of course." And she begins pouring you some ales, and she says, and she looks back as she's doing so, and says, "You all won the Smoke Ring Festival last year, didn't you?"
That we did.
You had, what, the first ever tie in history, I think.
That was quite the show, it was. Took down old Adelard Took.
Whatever happened to Adelar, anyways? Is he still around, or did he leave in shame?
To this, Carla says, "Well, you know, I haven't seen him in a while. I hear tell around town that he's just locked himself in his study and just spends all day blowing smoke rings, talking to himself, saying he won't ever lose a festival again. I don't know if it's true or not, but I can tell you I haven't seen him in here for a while."
Huh.
Well, Miragar will look over at Thrush with a big old grin on his face. Maybe next year we'll just happen to be out of town when the festival shows up. I wouldn't want his ego to be shot down too often.
Ah, come on. You gotta defend your title.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's not really up to us. We're kind of adventurous now, and if the call takes us away, we'll be away.
She says as she's pouring ales, handing them out to customers. "Do you have some questions I could answer for you?"
Well, have you encountered anyone who, well, is described as an old man, tall old man, wears gray, has a pointy hat?
"Oh yeah, some guy came around here saying he was Gandalf the Grey or something." And with that, we are going to end the session.
Like gasp.
Lay gasp indeed.
No.
Until next time when we find out what's been going on with Gandalf.
Get it out.